wife.
How was David? Oh. What? Oh, wow, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that opening song is When I Pray. So let's stand up for that. It's a beautiful song, and it feels good on your feet.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
When I pray,
When
I feel
my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Welcome. Well, that was God calling, by the way. Wanted to make sure you were here in church. You know, I have one of those too. I have one of those phones too, and I always bring it in, and sometimes I forget to turn it off. But the reminder has been given to us, and we thank you so much for that reminder. So we just turn it off, and that way we get to sink into prayer and meditation without any disturbances during our service. So thank you for being here, by the way. I love Sundays. I love being here. I hope you feel the same way. I know you do. I know that you do. This place has a special feel. You know, when you step into this room, you get to see life operating right in front of you. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. You'll see birds coming in and out. This terrarium experience is great. How often do you get to actually be inside of, you know, the jungle itself, you know? And it's wonderful to be here. And by the way, some people in this congregation made the experience way better by replacing the termite-damaged wood and creating a situation where this place can expand and grow rather than allow it to die and be attacked by some of the bugs or even the poisons that would kill the plants. So thankful for that. So grateful. And something else I want to say that really sets the stage for this today. This song, When I Pray, is a special song. I mean, it really has a couple of serious truths in it that I want to highlight. So the chorus that we sang so many times, and by the way, a lot of you are really good at harmonizing on that chorus. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. I love that. I mean, what it says, you know, between the lines is that this is when you are, when you reach God in the now. You can't say, well, I'm going to talk to the God of yesterday, or I'm going to talk to the God of tomorrow. You reach God right here, right now. And right where you are, you pray, and you reach that magnificent, all-powerful, all-loving life force that moves things in a direction for good. We're going to be talking about that too, how that works today. But also, the idea of the power of prayer. It allows you to go deeper within self. It allows you to become connected with self. And we're going to find out what that connection with self can bring us as we talk about today's topic. So, beautifully done, you guys. You're great. Unity of Pasadena is a magnificent space. It is a place where we offer respite to any and all people who want to come share the love of spirit, the love of community, the love of life. Unity is an amazing practical Christianity that follows the teachings of Jesus. It's actually spiritual in nature. Many people like to call this a spiritual Christianity or a mystical Christianity, and I love mysticism, so I oftentimes do that. I oftentimes say this is a mystical Christianity, where we talk about exactly what Jesus taught, and what we believe is what we've seen and heard as a result of those magnificent words being brought into action. And we practice it. So I have a saying that just describes this idea of unity, and I'd like you to join me in it if you will. There's only one thing. It may look like more than one thing. It may feel like more than one thing, but it's only one thing. Expressing is you, expressing is me, and everything we see. Yeah, that's a statement of oneness. So here at Unity of Pasadena, I want you to know we have people who are on live stream, and I want to welcome them too. Hello, live streamers. Good to see you. If you're new on live stream, we don't know that unless you put that in the chat. You know, make a comment, and we'll be able to see you. We'd like that. And if you're new here today in person, welcome. We are so happy that you're here. We're so happy to share whatever we have with you. And that's what we do. That's how we do it. So we also have a unity blessing that I'd like you to join me in, please. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. And we have a statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good omnipotence, and I am one with that presence and power. So let's sink into prayer. Nice deep breath. Release it. Let's just settle into our seats with another deep breath. And release it. And when you release all the difficulties you may have experienced on the way here. Release everything that gets in the way of you being still at heart, still of mind. Release all of that so that you can sink into this moment and find connection, not only with each other, but with yourself and with the God within. I know the presence of God is right here, right now, in this very space. The presence of God is often described as love. And so we summon up that feeling of love right now, whether it's a love for a person in our lives or someone who's passed or maybe a pet. Whatever it is, maybe a place, maybe a song or a poem. Summon that up right now and feel that love. And when you do, you're aligning yourself with the presence of God. And so we recognize and know that God here and now is that power which sustains us, which brings us intelligence, which brings us wisdom, which brings us good, which brings us the ability to show our gratitude through service to others. And we do that here at Unity of Pasadena, and we're thankful to be able to do it. Unity of Pasadena is a special place where the board of trustees and our prayer chaplains and our musicians and our volunteers all work together to make this an absolutely beautiful service. But more than that, a place of high consciousness where our higher selves emerge. We practice that here, and then we take that with us on our way out the door and all through the days to come. We're grateful for the ability to be here, to connect, and to reach out toward our greater yet to be and allow that to happen. I release these words with great thanksgiving into the law of mind, knowing that they're already done. Please join me by saying, and so it is. Amen. All right, so I'm reaching into this basket here because there is a question that I want to ask. Excuse me, I want to answer. Who knows, this might stir up a question or two that I need to ask. You get a chance to put questions into the basket, and then I pick it, and I do a 3-minute question answer. So I give it a shot. Sometimes it takes more than 3 minutes. Sometimes I elongate it because I need to express something that is important to me. Sometimes, not very often, I'm even shorter than that. We'll see if that could possibly happen today. Okay. Interesting. What does stillness connect me to? How does stillness connect me to the divine within? Interesting question. So, I think I can explain this in a way that allows you to see the process for me. I enjoy meditation, and stillness is, for me, stillness of mind, so that I can find that connection with ease. So for me, what it is kind of like the sculptor who takes a look at a piece of marble and starts to chisel off everything that doesn't look like, let's say, David, or some other sculpture that you might like. Gets rid of all the pieces that stand in the way of David being right there in front of you. So I look at meditation like that, where we get rid of all the cares of the world so that we can connect at a greater level. Consciously connect, and I like that phrase, consciously connect with spirit in this meditation experience. So stillness oftentimes does that. But sometimes for me, it's not stillness of body that does it, but stillness of mind. It's a different type of meditation for me. I will meditate sometimes best when I'm on a walking meditation. I mean, certainly my body's not still on a walking meditation, but my mind gets still because I hear my footfall. It's a shh, 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 almost like a mantra. And my mind is set in that still motion, because the mantra of my footfall and my activity, the activity of my body, is taking me to that place where I am mentally still. Some people are really, really good at sitting and removing everything from their mind so that they can find that stillness of mind. And they have stillness of body as well. Most people aren't. In fact, even those that are so steeped in meditation that they do it for long periods of time every day need something to help them, like a mantra, to kind of squeeze out all the things that aren't stillness. You know, kind of like the sculptor who chips off everything that's not David. And so the mantra can be something simple. I am love, I am love, I am love. It can be something as simple as an om. Some people use om. Om. That kind of pushes out everything that might disturb you from feeling that stillness of mind. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think that stillness, because it helps us, and I'm talking about stillness of mind, because it helps us to make space for that God within to show itself in the moment, for that God within to bring the peace that it can bring, the joy that it can bring, the connection that it can bring. Somehow we have to remove everything that is not that. And that's the practice. That's the practice. Nobody does it perfectly, but that's the practice. That's it. Oh, knock 13 seconds off that, and we're right on. Well, we go by a different time here in this sanctuary, so we're good. We're good. So we're going to sing a song, aren't we? Let's do it.
It's a perfect song to follow up the question and Greg's fantastic answer. Nothing to seek, nothing to gain, nothing to know, nothing to lose, nothing to do, but let go. Let's rest here, where the future and the past disappear. Here, in the sanctity of now. Nothing to prove, nothing to own, no one to be, nowhere to move, already home, already free. Let's just stay in the cave of the heart today and bask in this ever-present love. Nothing to fix, nothing to change, nothing to fight. Only what is, what if what is just right. Why not trust this mystery living us and rest in the refuge of the self? Nothing to judge, no one to blame or fear. Nowhere to turn, nowhere to hide, nobody else. Nothing outside that isn't inside myself. Let's just see, is there anyone here but me? Here, in this present moment, now. Nothing to know, nothing to do, no one to be, nowhere to go, already home, already free. Love's in me.
Good morning, Unity Community. I'm glad to be here this morning and to see all of you. And today's word is worthy. And I think the 3-minute question and answer really brings us to a place where we can absorb that sense of worthiness. And the song also just really nothing to do, be, just know our value just because we are, just because we are created and part of the Creator. Just a sense of oneness and value all by itself. And this worthy for today in the Daily Word talks about worthiness more from our eyes towards others, but I think that we also need to listen to it towards ourselves. So many times, especially in our culture where it's competitive, where it's performance, where it's achievement-oriented, you know, the sense of worthiness can be challenging and we can be our own worst critic. So I think really embracing the sense of our own worthiness is so important in our spiritual journey and in our interactions with ourselves and others. So it says worthy. All people are worthy as children of God. It can be easy to look at others and see differences, the things that tend to keep us separate. I may even make judgments about their worthiness and about my own. But each person is so much more than their appearance, their habits, and their histories. Today, I commit to treating others as I would want them to treat me, as the divine beings they are, and the divine beings I am. I will look beyond appearances. I will put aside any judgments, and I will open my heart to others. I will treat others as individuations of the divine and beloved members of the human family. And as I do this, I feel that the differences and separations are falling away. I behold our similarities and feel a new kind of kinship, one born of respect and of acceptance. All people are one in God, and each is worthy of inclusion and belonging. And Romans 8:16 says, it is that very Spirit bearing witness with our spirit that we are children of God.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. It is my privilege and pleasure to pray with you. Let us take a moment to relax our thoughts as you allow your breath to surrender to that quiet space within. By breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. You know, we are thankful for all of those who are praying with us for today. And we are honored to pray for others. Prayer is a way that we share our faith in God and our love for one another. Each prayer we pray for others is a silent, powerful message that proclaims our belief in God's power to heal and restore, to guide and comfort them. We believe in and affirm the very best for them, and we don't have to define what that best is. We trust God to bring about healing, understanding, and prosperity for the ones we are praying with and for. Blessings come and through many different people and circumstances, but God is the source of all good as we move into a 2-minute period of silence. Let us open our eyes and let us say the prayer of St. Francis together slowly. God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine presence, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is through grace that we are given eternal life. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you very much, and may you have a blessed day.
God is love, moving within me. God is peace, living in you. God is here, breathe in the glory, hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. God is love. When life has a question, our hearts know the answer. For every closed door, we hold the key. Open your soul. There is a river flowing forever, abundant and free. God is love, moving within you. God is peace, living in me. God is here. Breathe in the glory, hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. God is love. When fear tries to blind you and dark clouds surround you, love has a voice that calms every storm. Open your arms, love one another. Here in this moment, your healing is born. God is love, moving within you. God is peace, living in me. God is here. Breathe in the glory, hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. God is love. God is love. God is love. God is love. God is love, moving within you. God is peace, living in me. God is here. Breathe in the glory, hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. Hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. Hear the hope, see the grace, feel the touch. God is love.
Well, you guys really nailed the song choices today. You really have hit upon songs which not only take us to that deep space, but also really reflect a true understanding of what it is I'm going to talk about today. Today's talk is really interesting for me because it is the culmination of things that I do when I'm in that quiet space. When I'm in that quiet space, I oftentimes pick up this book, which has a lot of empty pages in it, and I start to fill them. And I start to fill them with ideas, and some of these ideas end up being what it is I talk about from the podium, and that's kind of going to be where we are today. The title is God, Your Personal Self, which means that your personal self is God. So let me start this way. Did you guys notice this new thing sitting up there next to the gong? Okay. All right. Well, it is a new thing. It's a little terrarium I put together, and I brought it out today because it needed a little light. It's in my office all the time, And even though it's actually doing really, really well, I mean, I think that the roots are connecting with the soil, the new roots that are springing forth. A little bit of water and a lot of love helps this to occur, but it needed a little bit of sunshine. So I put it over here so that it could also commune with its friends on the other side of the window. It truly is a representation of the life force, that moves in, around, and through each and every one of us and everything that exists. Those were cuttings from my yard, our yard. And I hated to see them thrown in the trash. I don't know if you guys ever have that kind of feel around certain types of plants, especially with succulents, because they'll grow. I mean, you can cut them off and you think, gosh, it's just like a limb cut off a tree, isn't it? No, it's not. I mean, this thing will grow if you put it in something else. And so I end up with a lot of succulents all around the house, because I can't throw them away. And so I brought them here to put in that terrarium, which used to be a punch bowl, by the way. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, she's part of our, Debbie gave it to, a friend of ours, Debbie gave it to us, and we don't drink that much punch around the house. So I thought, why not? Plant these plants in this thing, and then I'll bring it to the church, and I'll be able to see life happening right in front of me, and right in front of you. So, that's one of the beauties of having this plant life and the animal life that shows up behind us, because it reminds us that life is always pushing forward. Life is expanding. In fact, the life within is God, and you are that. There is life within you, and that life within you is God. God in action, God pushing forward, always expressing to a greater degree. Those plants are going to root. And so, even though I cut them off, they're going to root. These plants out here are going to grow. You are going to experience new things. You are going to have growth within yourself. You cannot be less than what you are today. You will be more tomorrow based upon the experiences that you will have today. And those experiences help you grow into life. You're an expression of life. Your experiences are an expression of life. Life is you. You are life. The life of God and your life are not two things. They're one thing. We're here every Sunday to talk about that idea and to feel that idea. There is unity. There is no separation. None. I mean, it's not the life of God over here and my life here. We are one. There is unity. And so some of the things that I've written here that I want to share with you and sort of start the conversation around what this personal self is, how it expresses, and what it really shows up as, are things like this. Whatever is true of God is true of your life. If the life within is God, then whatever is true of God is true of your life. That means all the power, all the accessible information and intelligence, all of the wisdom that's available, all of that is available to each and every one of us, because it's not just your physical life that you are reaping as being a part of this universal principle called life. It's also the mind of God in action. We're going to talk about that, because everyone thinks from the same mind. So the life within you is personal, from the standpoint that this universal life principle is personified in you. There are questions all the time that I get from people that sound like this. So if everything is God and God is good, where did this evil thing come from? Where do all these bad actions come from? Where does all this death and destruction come from? Where does all this change that erupts in our communities and brings heartache and suffering and pain, where does that come from? That doesn't look good to me. Well, we're going to talk about that today, and I think you're going to see as we go through this analysis what that's about, what that is about. So the life within you is the life of God. You don't have a problem feeling that, do you? I mean, if life is all around you and you are experiencing it right now, you are that life. And life is God. God pushes it forward. It doesn't step away from it and says, hey, that's all there is to it. Done. Always pushing forward. So God, as infinite and changeless, will forever appear as the God that you believe in. Interesting thing for me to write down. I mean, it doesn't matter what your conception of God is. The God that you believe in, the God that you have set forth that conception of, appears to you in that form. Interesting, isn't it? I mean, what that means is that you create the ability through your own understanding to connect with this inner resource, this life resource, this God resource, this all-powerful resource. You may not think you're all-powerful. You may not think you're infinite and all the other things that God is. You may not think that you are love in action. You may not think that you are filled with the exuberance and light of God, because that's who you are, because it doesn't feel like it from time to time. But you are. And when you remember that, you start to feel it. Isn't that true? When you understand this and you remember it, you start to feel that. You start to recognize that in you, because you're able to summon up joy. You're able to summon up what it is that you need to feel happiness and connection. You need enthusiasm around something, you can summon that up. You can summon up the passion to move forward in whatever direction you choose to move forward. Whatever direction that you feel is necessary for you to move forward, you can, in a sense, speak your word and move forward in that direction. You set your intention. You have the ability to do that. You have the ability to change. You have the ability to add more to who you are today. And what I say all the time is that that's your greater yet to be. That is your greater yet to be. And it's to be in you as you. So when people search for God and they say, look, I really need something, so I'm going to pray to God to give me that answer. And there's no response. I always say, hey, let's do something a little bit different. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's understand that not only are we this life principle, but we are connected to the mind of God. God has a mind. God's mind is filled with everything, an infinite collection of all wisdom, of everything that's known, soon to be known, ever has been known. God's mind is from which we think. And wouldn't it be nice to have a full head of God mind, meaning knowing all things? Wouldn't that be incredible? I mean, all religions say that God is omniscient, meaning all knowledge. I say it because I know it's true. And I also know that this omniscient mind, this God mind, is from which we think. But why don't we know everything? Well, we don't have the capacity. We don't have the capacity to understand all that is. We don't have, and sometimes that capacity doesn't have anything to do with our mental ability to think. It has to do with the container that we have set forth to live into, to know from. And the way I'll explain that is this. You see, I have people in my life, and I've known people in my life who consciously create a very small container for themselves. They don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear something that's contrary to what it is that they already believe. And sometimes it's because they've been told that they shouldn't. And other times it's because they just don't want to. You know, there are some people that just don't have the capacity to understand and may never have the capacity to understand. And that is all right too. That's all right too. That's a different issue. So, I may have told you this, but it bears reminding. I was sitting in a gymnasium at the bicycle. I was on a bicycle. It was a recumbent bicycle, and I was pedaling along, and I was reading a book, and it was The Da Vinci Code. And most people here have probably read it, or maybe seen the movie. Yeah, so it has a lot of things in it that aren't strictly along the religious doctrinal order. You know, it says some things that people may consider to be blasphemous, you know. So I'm sitting there reading it, and this guy in the gym comes up to me and points to this book and taps it, and he says, "This book should be thrown in the lake of fire." Now, this man had done nothing to himself but close his mind. He had done nothing to himself but shrink his container, his capacity to be a part of whatever it is that he decided to read, or engaged by something new, or to enjoy someone else's idea as a manner of entertainment. He had been told that he wasn't to read these kinds of things in his religion. He was told he shouldn't read that. So I said to him, and I was a little audacious, but I said to him, "Look, it is truly a shame that your lack of faith in what is true for you is disturbed by something that's fictional. It's truly saddens my heart that you can't read this amazing story and take it as a story. That you somehow, because your lack of faith, somehow through your lack of faith, you're unable to read things that apparently you don't, or your church doesn't allow you to agree with." And you know what he said to me? I mean, this is a big guy, he's in the gym, you know. He said, "Wow, I never thought of it that way." I never thought of it that way. You know, and maybe in that moment his container just got a little larger for him to receive that which is in God's mind, to receive some wisdom, to receive that message which he might get from you or me, or some book, or something that happens in his life that can make it better. I mean, he had consciously closed his mind to all of the riches in God's mind. His container was smaller. You can open up your container. That's a neat thing. It's a neat thing to do. But sometimes religion and culture closes that container for you. You know, I think that's what Jesus was doing the whole time he's wandering around, talking to people and working with people and you know, setting forth these beautiful parables that could allow people to see things in a different way. You know, I mean, one of the things, the aspects of the Bible that I really enjoy is the parable which he told about the Good Samaritan, and I like that because, you know, there's a lawyer in it, and he's made to look a little closed-minded, you know. I mean, he has learned some things or believed some things that has closed his mind to the idea that he can love anyone he so chooses, that he can make that person his neighbor. See, because he knows the law. He knows the law. The law is to love God with all your might and love your neighbor. But he has an issue with who his neighbor is. See, he has closed his mind around this idea of who his neighbor is. I mean, he's not going to love a Samaritan because these Samaritans are bad people. Jesus, in trying to impress upon him this idea that the commandment to love God and love your neighbor is not determined by whether or not you like him, whether or not you approve of him. It is to love your neighbor as you love God, and everyone is your neighbor. And the story presents itself very, very well because Jesus sets forth these facts, if you will, in the story, the parable, and leaves this man no choice but to say, yeah, I guess that Samaritan is my neighbor. So, sometimes what closes our mind to the good and the imagined good that you can receive is this kind of culture or the kind of things that we have been taught. We can open that up, and that's really our job. This is why we don't have a problem talking about, even though we are considered to be spiritual, mystical Christians, practical Christianity is our creed, we listen to Buddhists and say, wow, I want some of your meditative ability, you know? I want to know how you connect in that way. We can listen to Hindus and say, what do you get from this? And say, I want that too. We can utilize some of those practices. We are not in any way, shape, or form upsetting some sort of God that believes only in what we believe. What we're doing is moving forward, creating more experiences, and being our greater yet to be. So, this idea that God mind is our mind, we think from it, there is but one mind, is a very, very powerful idea. Say with me, the intelligence of God exists at the center of my being. And I say, the very power of imagination, when used, is that intelligence functioning at the level of your comprehension of it. You say, to think is to create. Now, we've heard a lot of that in New Thought, haven't we? To think is to create. Your word is creative. You know, if you really like Don Miguel Ruiz as much as I do, and you've read the Four Agreements, be impeccable with your word is absolutely the truth in that you create through your word, whether it's spoken or, you know, you think it. The tendency of your thought is also very, very creative. We consider that to be the word as well. So your word is creative. When we use universal power, we call that using the law. Meaning, our word, when used, creates a definite result. And in New Thought, we call that the law. That's what happens. That's principle. That happens all the time. I mean, you're creating through the use of your word something that you probably should really take a hold of so that you can, in some way, shape, or form, moderate the way you speak and think. If you're always in that field of negativity, let's change that. Let's change that. We don't want to bring about things in your life that are unhealthy. We don't want to bring about the pain and suffering of a manner in which you live that is butting up against that which is good, true, and beautiful. So as I looked at these things in my own handwriting, I thought, you know, the mind of God is the law of our life. When I speak, it speaks within me. Say, my word is creative. So if I wish to create good and not evil, then I will watch what I say. So when I say evil, what I'm really talking about at a deeper level is limitation. So if I wish to create something abundant, then I will not introduce language or creative thinking as limitation. The mind of God is the law. I think that it's important for us to really, really sink into this thought process that our word is creative and say together, be impeccable with your word. Whatever you declare to be true about God, declare it to be true about yourself. You know, when I think about what is true about God, I write down all kinds of words, and I would suggest that's a good assignment for you guys too. You could decide in your own mind how God presents. I think God is eternal, and so life is eternal. I think, and that life in you is eternal. So, by the way, that means you're eternal in some form or another. You are eternal, that life within you. But also love, wisdom, peace, power, joy, and good are those qualities of God that I know I can instill in me through an appropriate thought process, which is sometimes used and called prayer. Affirmations. Anybody here use affirmations? Yeah. But prayer is something that is really interesting, particularly when you understand and agree with this idea that there is but one mind and you're operating in that mind of God. You see, I don't have to beg God to have clarity if I have a problem in my life. I don't have to say, God, please bring me the answer. I don't have to say, God, I'm waiting for you to give me the answer. I can affirm the truth that I know. And that truth that I know goes like this. When I pray, I align myself with the mind of God. I know all answers and all wisdom is within. I know that I am that mind right now. I find clarity through this thought process by recognizing and knowing that my mind is the mind of God, that the answers come smoothly and easily and flow in my life. I am clear. That kind of prayer doesn't require me to wait for God to give me an answer. That kind of prayer allows me to connect right now with that which is all-knowing and all-powerful and receive an answer that's important for me, which is the clarity that I need in order to move forward. And you know, I am always looking for clarity. I don't know about you guys. I am always looking for clarity. I want to see in my mind's eye the best way to move forward. And, you know, sometimes that can be difficult for people. Finding the best way to move forward, particularly when they've been given certain principles as a way to live. You know, I believe that Jesus taught us a lot of things about how to move forward and move forward appropriately, and I use that as a guidepost. But I hear talk from some circles, and they're Christian cousins of ours, where they start to believe that empathy is probably not a good thing. I don't know if you've heard that or not. That we probably shouldn't empathize like we do with people. It leads to some bad results. It leads to putting up with things that we shouldn't put up with, that we should sweep away in our lives. Empathy is not appropriate when bad conduct, or conduct I don't agree with, is in the mix. Now, I don't know how they get away with that, honestly, as people who have heard the words of Jesus uttered in churches, who feel it may be resonating in their heart, who recognize that compassion and empathy are important tools, not just for your family, not just for your close kin, but for everything and everyone. Walk a mile in their shoes. Have empathy, understand their pain and suffering. You know, utilize your power accordingly. What does it look like? I mean, that doesn't mean that you have to put up with things around you that are unacceptable. It doesn't mean that at all, but you certainly have to understand before you can fix. You have to understand, because that understanding brings clarity before you can move forward and help people to do what it is that they need to do in order to be whole and complete. Most of us need help in our lives. Most of us need the help of others. And to withdraw from that compact of connection, community, and love for one another is to withdraw from life itself. I don't get that. I don't get that empathy is a bad thing. I get that empathy is the way life unfolds in its best form. Compassion, that love for humanity. So there are other things as well, which are interesting to me in this regard. I could go on and on about that, and I don't really want to do that today, but we have, in this day and age, some ideas that we're watching unfold. And you may not like them, It may not be the highest and best for you. We may feel like an upheaval is necessary. I want to guide you to the non-resistance of Jesus. And I'm not talking about, not carrying a sign or not going out in the streets or not doing the things that we do as a society here that utilize First Amendment principles. I'm a big believer in the First Amendment. I think we ought to be able to say what it is we need to say. I think we ought to be able to do what it is that we need to do. I think we ought to be able to express not only our satisfaction, but our dissatisfaction and feel safe in doing it. I think we need to be able to do that. And I'm not saying that is anything that is in the camp of outside the camp of non-resistance. So when I say non-resistance, I'm talking about the way Jesus looked at it. Don't resist it emotionally. Don't fall into the trap of allowing it to make you sick. Step into the reality of what's going on and do something, like Jesus' brother James said. Do something. And that doesn't look like fighting forces in the street, doesn't look like throwing things, doesn't look like vandalizing things or breaking things. It doesn't look like that. That's exactly the kind of thing that Jesus did not want to see any of his followers do or see anybody do. And that's exactly what we need not do today. But we do need to let people know how we feel. We need to do that. We need to let people know that we have this power within us that is the power of God. We do. We have the ability to change things not only in our lives, but collectively in the lives of others if we band together to do things peacefully in a magnificent, non-resistant way. So, this is about the thoughts we think. I told you that I'd answer this question today. How is it that evil exists in the world? Well, it is a lack of understanding. It is ignorance of the words that are necessary in order to change our lives through the creative process in a positive way. A misunderstanding, a lack of the size of the container, a lack of compassion, a lack of empathy and understanding in a way that pits a person against another. That pits people in a way that is harmful and hateful. Sometimes it can magnify. And then there are all sorts of rationalizations that occur as a result of that. And let's talk about one thing, because this is usually the biggie, all right? So Hitler would tell you that he's removing a scourge, that it's a good thing to get rid of the Jews. That's what he would say. That's what he did say. It's a good thing. I mean, this is evil in our community. We need to get rid of it. He found his way through rationalization to get to that side where what he's doing is okay. And a lot of people followed him. A lot of people got caught up in that. A lot of people are prone to believe that some of the things that are going on in their lives that they don't like are because of evil people. You are the creator of your life. If you create your thoughts and your thoughts create what shows up for you, you are the creator. Take responsibility for your own life. Move as if you have responsibility. We don't rationalize. We do what's right. We do the next indicated thing. We step into the breach in tough times. We have courage. These are qualities of God. We show those. We operate in that way. And we do it in a way that's not harmful or hurting anybody else. And that's who we are here. That's who we are here. Now, I don't mean to stand up here and give you any sort of ideology. I haven't done that, and I won't do that. But you need to see what's true in your life and what's your next indicated thing. And I hope this gives you a little foundation, a little basis for seeing what might be next, what you might need to do. So, thank you guys for loving Unity of Pasadena. I thank you for loving truth. Thank you for loving each other. Thank you for understanding the message, what it is we need to do, what's ours to do. Namaste. All right, Millie Ann. You know, my mother's name is Millie. I keep saying that, you know, and it really is so good to see you, because every time I see you, I'm reminded of my mother. And my mother used to smile just like you do. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, we got some people on today. We got some people on. We got Mike and Carol. Mike and Carol, good to see you. We got Carol Labrie today. Carol Labrie. Anybody know Carol? You do now if you didn't. Hello, Carol. All right, we got Virginia. It's good to see you, Virginia. Good to see you or feel you. David Sisson. That sounds like a perfume maker or somebody who makes handbags and wallets too. Thank you, David. So good to see you. We got Marissa. Marissa's on YouTube. Yeah, we have two ways of accessing this live. You know, one through YouTube and one through Facebook. So, we got Reva. We got Reva. It's not Reba McEntire, it's Reva. It's Reva. You know, I mean, a lot of people think it might be Reba because like the voice is on now, you know, and so we see a little bit of Reba, but this is Reva. Reva! I'll put that right in there. Oh, look at this. Yeah. All right. Well, this is good news. This is good news. I know these people. This is about today the support for Unity of Pasadena, and you know, the names on this are me and Jackie, and we support Unity of Pasadena in every way possible, including the tithes and treasures that we receive that we put in the basket that allow us to practice the law of circulation. And here's the way the two of us think. And you can think about it however you want, but we support those things that are good for the community, that are good for the personal self, that are good for the world, the ideas. We support the ideas, and we support this powerful process here in this room in this way. We want this to be here for our own kids. We want this to be here for our grandkids. And so we say together our community giving, if you will, please. God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful.
I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, you're alive with the Spirit of God. Yeah. I am awake to the Spirit of God. I am awake to the Spirit of God. I am awake, you're awake to the Spirit of God. Yeah. I am the light of the Spirit of God. I am the light of the Spirit of God. I am the light of the Spirit of God. I am alive, you're alive with the Spirit of God. I'm filled with the Spirit of God. I'm filled with the Spirit of God. I'm filled, you're filled with the Spirit of God. One more time. I am one with the Spirit of God. Like this. I am one with the Spirit of God. I am one, I'm committed. One with the Spirit of God. And a 10. I am one with the Spirit.
I love a little bit of musical chaos in our lives, don't you? I mean, I think it's absolutely wonderful. You know, I was listening to them practice and trying to figure out what key to play in, you know. So I think Mitch decided he'd play in them all, you know, and it's fantastic, you guys. Thank you. Yes, yes. This is life unfolding, you guys. Oh, look at this. We have tithes and treasures, and we need to make a promise. We promise here at Unity of Pasadena to utilize these tithes and treasures with integrity. We utilize it to bolster and move this message forward, not only right here in this space, but in the community at large, to support the people that need to be supported, to support the ideas that are worth supporting. We utilize these tithes and treasures to make certain that these ideas are safe and sound and spoken. And so we thank you so much for trusting us. We are worthy of that trust. We are who we say we are. I release, I let go, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, Millian. All right, so Barbara, come on up. I'm alive with the Spirit of God. Ooh.
Our community, all of us, our collective faith, our collective thinking, our collective words, and our collective action. And we have a vision and a mission and some core values that speak to that. A word on our vision. As Greg spoke about it, we are part of the mind of God, and our thoughts are the beginning of actions. So, in our vision, we say, and let's do it together, envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Okay, that statement used a past tense of transformed. But the action, it starts with an action in our mission, which is the word transforming, which is changing, moving forward, and expressing more of what God is. So with that thought in mind, let's say together our mission. Transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truth of divine wisdom, compassion, and love using practical spiritual principles. And then you might notice that our core values, which is that which shows up as a result, all begin with verbs. They are creating community, living love, teaching truth, and serving spirit. Okay, now October happens to be my favorite month, and not just because it has my birthday in it, but we have a whole batch of birthdays. Okay, and we have at least Don Simons, Jolinda Blake, Michelle Gillette, Paul Smith, Charmaine Chambers, Care Cornford, and Anita Scumbody. Now, those people will ask you to stand, but is there anybody else that we didn't know about? Okay, birthdays, stand up. Thank you, Mitch. Okay, and we also get cake after hospitality, which today is being hosted by a team whose last names begin with the letters D through J. And then just a reminder for next week, those of you for the third Sunday whose last names begin with M through R, you will be our hosts. And thank you very much for every single team, every single Sunday. Okay, just a little note coming up. Next Sunday will be the third Sunday, and it'll also be the regular meeting of the bereavement support group. If you have any questions, you've been curious about it but haven't joined, see Jackie Dorst, and she'll fill you in. Okay, and we continue to meet every Tuesday with Michelle Gillette, aka Mickey, and her friends for the Tuesday morning gentle stretch and laughter and, well, I heard that there was, some giggling going on. Anybody can attest to that? Oh, yes? Okay, all right. Okay, so that's at 10:30 on Tuesdays. And then regularly we have with Helen and her friends the Thursday evening meditation and centering prayer at 5:45 every Thursday evening. So that's all I've got, so Reverend Gray, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to do a silent unity prayer for protection, and then we're going to sing a song. Which one today? Oh, the peace song. We know that one. That's good. So please stand for the silent unity prayer for protection. And while you're doing that, let me just tell you about our prayer. If you care for it, our prayer chaplains are here. There are probably 6 different prayer chaplains throughout our sanctuary here. And what I would like you to do, if you'd like prayer, please stay seated in your seat and they'll come around for you. Okay? All right. So please join me. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.